Mélanie Joly says today's action is based on the belief that automaker Stellantis did violate the billion-dollar contract signed with the federal government.
Canada's industry minister appeared before House of Commons committee today, saying the government is launching a dispute process against Stellantis. The automaker recently announced a move to the United States, which will take production out of Brampton.
We'll start the 30-day period of the formal dispute resolution process in order to bring back production at the Stellantis Brampton facility.
I think what they would say is, look, Canada, if you really want to do this, take this approach, then, we might give you your money back and say goodbye to you.
She could have been very clear if her government made a 3,000 job commitment for Brampton or a broader Canadian footprint agreement. She was not clear on that. That tells me there isn't one.
It's a political showdown that's shaking Canada's auto industry and sending shockwaves across the border. Just days ago, Industry Minister Mélanie Joly sent a message loud and clear. Stellantis, one of the world's biggest car makers, broke its billion-dollar promise, and Ottawa is ready to fight back. This isn't just another policy disagreement. It's about jobs, contracts, and whether foreign corporations can walk away from commitments made to Canadians without consequences. Tonight, we break down how this billion-dollar feud erupted and why it could reshape the future of auto manufacturing in North America. The spark started in Brampton, Ontario, where Stellantis, the maker behind Chrysler and Jeep, had been expected to keep Canadian production strong. Billions in government incentives, countless promises, and a deal that was supposed to lock in thousands of jobs, all tied to Canada's push to lead in electric vehicle production. But in October, Stellantis dropped a bombshell. It was shifting production of the Jeep Compass from Brampton to Illinois. Overnight, hundreds of Canadian jobs were put on the line. And for the federal government, this move wasn't just disappointing, it was a breach of trust. Minister Mélanie Joly didn't mince her words. Standing firm, she said, "If you make promises and then walk away, you will be held accountable." And for the first time in years, Ottawa triggered a formal 30-day dispute resolution process, a legal mechanism meant to pressure Stellantis back to the negotiating table.
We'll start the 30-day period of the formal dispute resolution process in order to bring back production at the Stellantis Brampton facility. What's happening in Brampton at the Stellantis facility is completely unacceptable. Stellantis made a commitment, a promise, to invest in that plant, to invest in Canadian workers. And our government expects them to honor that promise, full stop.
And potentially restore operations in Brampton. It's an unprecedented step that signals a tougher, more confrontational Canada when it comes to defending its economic interests. But behind the headlines, this clash runs deeper than one car factory. It's about the billions that the Canadian government has poured into electric vehicle projects, trying to compete with massive U.S. incentives under the Inflation Reduction Act. Canada's message has been simple: invest here, create jobs here, and we'll back you. Yet when a company like Stellantis takes the money and shifts production south, it strikes at the heart of Ottawa's economic strategy. That's why this dispute isn't just legal, it's personal, political, and symbolic.
The grind that our folks here and our workforce have to get the job done. So Stellantis believing in Jeep, as they always have, just goes to continue to solidify that, we are, in an amazing place to be.
In the halls of Parliament, things got heated. Conservative MPs grilled Minister Joly during committee hearings, demanding answers about what exactly Stellantis had promised. Did the Brampton contract include job guarantees? Was there a written commitment to keep production in Ontario? So far, those documents haven't been made public. But what we do know comes from related deals like the one for Nexstar Energy's battery plant in Windsor. That contract clearly spells out a commitment for 2,500 jobs. Yet when it comes to Brampton, it's still a mystery. The opposition says the government has something to hide. Joly insists both plants, Windsor and Brampton, are linked, and that Parliament will soon see the full picture. While the legal process unfolds, trade experts are warning the government to tread carefully. One trade lawyer told CTV News that Stellantis could play hardball. In other words, if Canada pushes too aggressively, the automaker might simply give back the money and walk away completely, taking its future investments with it. For a country that's been working tirelessly to rebuild its manufacturing base after decades of decline, that's a risky gamble. But Ottawa appears ready to take it. And the stakes are enormous. Stellantis and its joint venture partner, LG Energy Solution, already have billions committed to EV battery production in Windsor. Losing Stellantis as a long-term manufacturing partner would be a political nightmare and a major economic setback. Yet, for many Canadians watching this unfold, the real issue isn't corporate risk, it's fairness. Should big corporations be allowed to pocket public money and then shift operations abroad? Should Canadian taxpayers foot the bill for promises that don't get kept? Those are the questions echoing across the country tonight. If this sounds familiar, it's because Canada has faced similar struggles before. In the past decade, major corporations have taken government subsidies with big promises of local jobs, only to pull back when global conditions changed. This time, however, the Trudeau government wants to show it won't be pushed around. The 30-day dispute process gives both sides a window to settle. But if that fails, Canada could move toward legal action or trade retaliation. The message is clear. There's a new line being drawn in the sand. Meanwhile, in Brampton, the human cost is real. Workers who once felt secure under the Stellantis banner are now uncertain about their futures. Auto manufacturing has long been the economic backbone of Southern Ontario, with generations depending on factory jobs. For them, this isn't about contracts or legal language, it's about families, mortgages, and the fear of losing everything to corporate decisions made in boardrooms thousands of miles away. Across the border, American officials are watching closely. Illinois stands to gain from Stellantis' decision, adding production capacity that might have stayed in Canada. But it also highlights the growing tension between the U.S. and its northern neighbor as both countries compete for electric vehicle investment. With Washington's massive subsidies and Canada's own billion-dollar incentives, the race for EV dominance has become a continental tug-of-war. And at the center of that battle is a question of credibility. Can Canada still be seen as a stable, reliable place for global manufacturers to invest? Or will this dispute scare away future deals? Some experts say standing firm now is crucial, that if the government lets Stellantis walk away easily, it sends the wrong message to every other corporation watching. Others warn that getting too aggressive could backfire, creating uncertainty and souring Canada's relationship with one of its biggest industrial partners.
As they left, 1,200 workers at the Ingersoll Cami plant learned that they would lose their jobs after that Prime Minister promised he would negotiate a win and that he would keep their jobs here in Canada. They joined with 2,000 workers in Brampton, many more in Oshawa. How does the Prime Minister look in the eyes of the very workers that he sold out and betrayed?
I'll tell you how the Prime Minister how he will deal with the auto sector. He will look at the auto workers in the eyes and he will say, "We will fight for your job."
It's a delicate balance: pride versus pragmatism, accountability versus attraction. And all of it is unfolding at a time when Canada's economy is already under pressure from inflation, rising costs, and political divisions. For Mélanie Joly, this is not just an economic case, it's a political test. Her words, "You will be held accountable," are now the government's credibility on the line. As we look ahead, the outcome of this dispute could reshape Canada's auto future. If Ottawa wins and Stellantis returns production to Brampton, it would mark a landmark victory for workers and a signal to other companies that Canada means business. But if the automaker digs in its heels, it could spark a larger exodus of investment and ignite political fallout for the federal government. Either way, the next few weeks will be critical. For now, one thing is clear. This isn't just about cars or contracts. It's about national pride, economic sovereignty, and the fight to ensure that billion-dollar promises made to Canadians are promises kept. In an age when governments worldwide are competing for every electric vehicle plant and every green job, Canada's decision to confront Stellantis head-on could either make it a model of accountability or a cautionary tale of overreach. And as both sides prepare for what could be a tense 30 days of negotiation, Canadians are watching, waiting to see whether justice or corporate power will win this round. Because at the end of the day, this fight isn't just about Stellantis or the federal government. It's about who really holds the steering wheel of Canada's economic future. The battle between corporations and countries for control of our future is far from over. We'll be tracking every move, every statement, and every ripple this billion-dollar clash sends across North America. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.